realistically, the system itself, I mean, they were booking the appointments right directly with me. I mean, our schedule was full within the first 2, 3 weeks. It was just nonstop. The learning curve was accelerated because they already kind of knew who they were going to get on a call with. If you're really serious about, you're owning your franchise, your piece of the pie, you will be willing to put that kind of money up front, betting on yourself that you're going to make it work.
Would you recruit under a model where agents would join for free now that you've known that this is possible?
Absolutely not.
I have with me Luis Garcia, agent of mine that has implemented the Profitable Agent Attraction Framework. For anybody new to this video who hasn't watched any of my previous videos, the Profitable Agent Attraction Framework is a framework or a model, a strategy that we've built here at Agent Advantage where you can recruit while making a profit upfront, which is a very unique model allowing you to recruit better agents and filter out a lot of the agents that wouldn't write for you in exchange for a profit. Actually, they're going to be investing in you and in your business before they join your organization. So it's a little bit counterintuitive to what you may have heard, but it's what the top agent attractors and agency owners are using today. So Luis, thank you so much for jumping on.
Absolutely. Anytime.
So Luis, what I just want to start off with kind of your results. And I know we didn't we ran this for short first 30 days. You kind of probably got blown away with how it was, and we had to restructure a couple things to allow you to be operationally in tune with this new model. But what can you speak a bit about your results in the first 30 days?
Well, I can honestly say that it was pretty eye opening. It's pretty refreshing, uh, clear. It made sense. I said that earlier today. I mean, if it makes sense to you, implement it. If it don't make sense to you, walk away. But this truly made sense to me. Uh, in the response, in the need, I was pleasantly surprised of how much the need is for what this program does, because it's just so needed. There is just a gap in our industry that requires constant contact with some of these agents that are lost. They're dangling along. They just don't know what to do. They got the drive and they've got the, I don't know how else to put it, but they've been injected with the hey, a goodwill, how to get there, how to go from point A to point B. But then somewhere along the way, whoever got them into this business just kind of dropped the ball or just don't know you know, how to guide them to that next step. And so when we launched this, initially I thought, we may get a hit here or there. But I mean, within the first week, we had our first agent say, hey, this is exactly what I've been needing. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Where have you guys been? And so came on, purchased the product. We just got dove right into it, and he's been on ever since. And so it was after, I believe, what, 2 3 weeks, we had to kind of scale it back because we couldn't keep up with the demand, which is a good thing. It's just I was not anticipating having that good of a problem. But I mean, the system works. Implementing it works. Um, it works if you work it. Doesn't work itself. That's just kind of the key to a lot of this stuff. Is you have to be willing to you know to put that effort into it, to keep up those follow-ups, to keep working, to just develop and help. Once you do that, then everything else just kind of aligns.
That's awesome. Can you talk just a little bit more about the when you said it worked, as far as the framework, how did you get in touch with these agents? Can you talk a little bit about the process of how we
Well, I mean, it's once we launched our, framework, the right tonalities, and then once we got all that in place, then we launched our ads. And realistically, the system itself, I mean, they were booking the appointments right directly with me, right from the ad, right after seeing me, after listening to me for, quite a bit of time. So the gap was, um, the learning curve was accelerated because they already kind of knew who they were going to get on the, on a call with. And so they were booking, we were having, I mean, our schedule was full within the first 2, 3 weeks. It was just nonstop. I mean, I could just keep seeing my calendar just get full, 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 full. I mean, I even had agents that would reach out, texting me through the Agent Advantage portal, and they're like, "Hey, there's no availability. What the heck?" I'm like, "Calm down. I'll open up a little. I'll open up a little more, or wait till tomorrow. There'll be." And so they would. I had to kind of delay a little bit, but it's just all the process. And so yeah, they're all probably 99.9% of them were self scheduled. Maybe that 0.9% was um, them looking for me outside, but it was rare. Most everybody was going through the system, um, seeing it, putting their information, filling out the survey, and then booking a call with me.
Yeah, the way we have it structured is agents are seeing you before they talk to you. And when I say seeing you, they're consuming content, consuming material that shows who you are, Lewis, that you're a successful insurance agent yourself, and that you're capable of helping them and showing this system, this framework that you had built to be successful, and now that they can actually invest in and copy paste. I look at it a bit like a franchise. It's you've posted the Ray Kroc, I don't know what is it, the founder movie
Ray
on.
Kroc of McDonald's.
Yes, that's right. And it shows how McDonald was built. And so if after that movie, if you had the chance to speak with Ray Kroc or the McDonald's brothers, you'd probably want to open a McDonald's yourself. You would put $200,000 down to open up. It inspired a lot of people to actually do that, in fact. But that's pretty much what we build with the profitable agent attraction framework, and that's what we did with you, so that they see your story, they understand you, they believe in your system, and then actually come in and invest. Now, I want to talk a bit about the old ways that you recruited, or the ways that you were doing it before. What are some of the things that you had tried to find agents in your downline? What were some of the methods that at least were told to you to use?
Well, I mean, shoot, it was just a multitude of nothingness. I mean, they really and I have nothing against my IMO. They've been great with me. They've been very, very loyal. They've been allowed me to grow at my own pace. That's why I'm still with them. But they really didn't have a method as to how you go get or recruit agents. They just didn't. They just, hey, process of elimination, uh, show up at some of these meetings that these carriers put on. Um, just go to the meet and greets, the lunch and learns. Uh, recruit by mail. I mean, it's just a lot of the old stuff that just. Uh, I mean, I've said this, and you've heard me say this, Jamie. If IMOs and companies like the insurance companies figured out how to replace us, they would have done it a long time ago. They just can't. They can't replace that relationship, that bond, the communication. That just like I communicate with my, just like communicate with my prospects, and then they become my customers. I also can communicate with the agent, and then they don't become my customer, but they become the agent. Uh, it's just a process. But the number one thing is, they're out there. How do you reach them? How do you encounter them? How do you talk to them? How do you help if you don't know where the people that need the help are? And this framework has allowed us to do this, to really reach um, pretty much every state in the US. Um, we can launch it nationwide, we can launch it locally, we can launch it, multi-state, whatever it is that you want to do. It's so flexible, and it gives itself and it lends itself for flexibility around, I mean, how much work you really want to do. If, for me personally, if we can go 7 days a week, let's do it. I mean, this gives me the clarity and the guidance and the vision that, hey, we need to, go talk to 10 more agents, flip it on, let it do its thing, and then the calls just start piling up on their own, because these agents are out there. There's literally thousands of agents out there that are just lost. They just need a little bit of guidance. And that's what this does. This program, that's what it does. It incorporates all that is needed out there for the agency owner that wants to grow, and you just put it together.
Right. Would you feel comfortable continuing to run ads like you are right now if you weren't able to make money up front, let's say by the agent? Would you recruit under a model where agents would join for free now that you've known that this is possible? No.
Absolutely not.
Mm.
No, because if it doesn't cost them anything, they don't invest. They will not. It's like it's like me giving you your first car as a teenager. If I give it to you, you're gonna go trash it, wreck it, don't even care. If it needs oil change, you just bring it to me when it's broke.
Mm.
That's how this system is designed. But I'm telling you, if you're a teenager and I say, hey, here's a vehicle, you got to pay for it, you got to put gas in it, you got to service it, you got to do this, you got to do this. It's your work. Then you will share and take care of that item. So that's the same framework that I'm using here. I tell the agents, hey, listen, I can get you to the promised land, but you got to work yourself to that. I can't do it for you because I mean, realistically, agents show up and they asking me, hey, well, you look, you're successful. You do. I said, yeah, but it wasn't an overnight. I mean, I've been in this 25 years, and I can tell you for the majority of those 25 years, I didn't have the peace and the clarity that I have today.
Right.
It took me a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of hitting my head against the wall until I finally figured out how to open the door and walk through it. Once
Well,
you do that,
you had agents before who hadn't invested in you, and then you got recruited agents that invested between $2,000 to $4,000 in just to be in your organization. What did you notice in the difference of character between an agent that came for free and the agent that had to actually pay first?
it's the will, because now you have a vested interest in making it work. I'm not just, you know, the realistically the ones that are recruited that just basically just join my organization just because I am who I am. They're just dangling around, always complaining about they don't have enough leads, they don't have this, they don't have that, and I don't fault them. That's what they want to do. That's fine with me. But there is a way, and the way is you got to invest. Just like Dan Kennedy. He who spends the most on marketing wins. I mean, once I realized that, then I'm like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
where have I been all these years? If we just market properly, we'll get the agent will get leads, clients, and the agency owner will get agents that are willing to invest, spend, implement, work, show up to the calls, and really, really give it a go because they now just invested 2 to 4 grand. $2,000 to $4,000. It's not exactly pocket change, but it's not an exuberant amount of money that if you're really serious about you're owning your franchise, your piece of the pie, you will be willing to put that kind of money up front, betting on yourself that you're going to make it work. So that's kind of the structure of it.
I believe that. And when they invest into something, they value it more. And the way you have structured your agency with this model is what they're investing in is to learn how to invest more into their own business, which at the end of the day profits them because they need to spend their own money to attract people and close deals in the insurance space, but also benefits you because now you have people that are coming in willing to put money on marketing. And that is a very powerful effect for your agency. Whereas you don't have to convince someone to say, hey, you should be spending money on ads. You should be trying to generate leads. That's already been covered before they come in. That's once
Yep.
they've said, Mr. Garcia, here's a check for $3,000. That's them saying, yes, Mr. Garcia, I'm going to spend more money on ads, which is super key. So that, I want to talk a little bit more about this new way of recruiting. Um, how did you feel when you start seeing appointment, like the appointments started coming in on your calendar, started talking to these agents? Were you surprised that these people were actually willing to put money up front or at least open to the conversation?
Initially, I thought everybody's just going to say no. The minute I give them the quote or the price, they were just going to hang up or walk away or, politely leave. No, most of them stuck it out. They said, "Hey," I even had some that said, "Hey, give me a week or two. Let me
Mhm.
realign my finances." Because again, we discovered during our Zoom calls some stuff that they were probably doing that they need to be doing and retargeting some of those dollars into doing this system. Um, and all it was is just, reach back out once they have the money, get them ready, get them going, and then get them prepped, get them ready to go for for the long haul. I mean, this isn't a uh, you know, $3,000, $3,000, and then you just leave it and then walk away. There's work, and you have to be willing to put the work in. Once you invest that kind of money, you're going to be. I mean, I've had people that are constantly messaging, "Hey, what about this? What about how do I talk to them? How do I approach? How do I, um, just general? You're going to have questions, and so you got to stick with it. You got to work. I mean, there's no substitution for work.
Mhm. Would you have thought that it was more work to set something up like this, like putting the pieces together, or how was it working with Agent Advantage, putting all the pieces together and getting the system up?
Um, I initially I didn't know what to expect, but then once it kind of rolled out, I'm like, everything was just, I mean, flawless. It was just one after another after another. Everything was already put together, and so not very many things, you know, had to be broken before we could, realistically get on calls. It was it was pretty much it was pretty much flip the switch, get going, and then once the calendars just show up to the meetings. I mean, because that's
Nice.
another aspect of it. You got appointments booked. Anybody that has an appointment booked and don't show up to it, I mean, that's insanity.
Yeah, that's good.
You
That
don't know
means the
what's
staff is doing a good job on my end because that's the idea. We want everything to be uh, mostly built for you. Uh, you're busy producing yourself. We don't want to get you out of production, and so we were trying to do the most as well to keep your production high. I want to kind of close this out with just you talking to an agent that's watching this, an agency owner or a top producer who wants to make that transition from producing to recruiting. A lot of agents want to do that, but they fall through the trap and they actually end up either completely lowering their production or even having to leave this business. Why should they implement a model like this?
because once you get through it and once you've implemented it, once you actually know how to run it, how to work it, you'll have clarity as far as where you want to go. You'll be able to put goals. You'll be able to set goals that probably you're not setting today because you don't know where your next, you don't know where your next recruit's coming from. You don't know where your next client's coming from. And once you have that clarity, once you know, hey, I just know as long as I keep running my advertisement, I keep doing my Zoom calls, I keep doing, it's just a numbers game. It's just a matter of time before we get connected with the right people. And so, what's the alternative? Stay doing what you're doing. If that hasn't worked, why do you keep doing it? Just, you know, and on the worst case scenario, let's say you tried this and it didn't work. Just the amount of information that you gather, the learning that you gather from a system like this, it's invaluable because you can use it literally in any area of any business. It's the framework is what counts. The nuts and bolts of it, you're going to realize um, it's scalable and it's implementable, where so you can actually get it to do what you want it to do. And so it's a whole new level of knowledge that, um, and the whole industry may not be there, but they're headed that way. So I'd rather you be ahead of the curve and learn early than have that, the fear of missing out kind of hey, now everybody's doing it. Well,
Right.
everybody's doing it because uh, somebody's copied somebody's, so it's just one of those things. Right now, I think this model is um, so ahead of the industry because it does, and in the insurance industry, they do tend to lag behind.
Mm, mm.
Mm. Mhm. But I mean, at the end of the day, Jamie, I think this is cutting edge. I think this is something that is um, generational. That is, it's gonna be here sooner or later. But I think right now the industry hasn't even caught out onto it because
Right.
they just don't know.
The insurance space is always 3 to 5 years behind. And so this is cutting edge for the insurance space. I mean, it's
Yeah,
been held on by top agent attractors. They don't want to put it out there. But when you said earlier it's scalable, it is because now you have money to reinvest in marketing. Whereas before, you had to wait till the agent would produce month two, three, and four. And if they don't produce, then that's a cost that you have not been able to recover. Now you have recovered that cost and a lot more upfront while at the same time recruiting better agents.
and you can also scale by merging with other agencies. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we in this industry, I mean, we can be partners with 4 or 5 different agencies and not ever have the same name. But again, it's all because you got to find ways to do that. And this connects you with so many different walks of life, so many different people. It just connects you with just you grow your marketing, your networking base, you grow it exponentially, whether you run in 1 month or you run in 12. It's just that is that is design. The design of it is for you to grow and to develop and to shape yourself into something that you want to become. And sometimes you may not even know what that is. But once you start implementing it, once you start working it, then you realize, oh, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to head. Now you can put it down on paper and say, hey, realistically, this is my numbers. This is what I want to. Like a good friend of mine tells me, he goes, hey, if you don't ever keep score, the score never changes. Everybody was like, what does that even mean? Well, if you if you're watching any kind of sporting event and the score is tie and you never keep score, it's always going to stay tie. This system allows you to grow and expand at your own pace, or if you want to, put it in hyperdrive, you can do that also. It's
Where
just
do you
how
think
much
this could take you if you were to put it in a hyperdrive and you're controlling the growth a lot, but you can put this on hyperdrive if you really wanted to, because you always tell me, you crack a smile, so Jamie, I could blow this thing up. So if where are you headed with
it's
this model?
it'll be where we eventually implement having others like myself that have the same goal oriented, same mindset oriented, and put them. Um, could I duplicate myself? I wish I could, but I can't. But I can come close. So that's going to be the next step is we're going to implement and put people in place that can do just as good a job, if not better than me. I mean, and I'm okay with that. If I can put people in place that do a better job than me, so be it. They win, I win, we all win.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
Well,
game.
the beauty about this is that eventually people under you will be recruiting under this model as well. Whether you take your top performers or people that are top performers that are telling you, hey, Lewis, I want to recruit instead of constantly selling. I've been selling for 2 years. I want something new. You can provide them with this framework to build a
Yep,
downline as well at zero risk and zero financial cost, right?
absolutely.
So, so that's
Yep.
awesome. Mr. Garcia, thank you so much for your time and letting everybody know. There's going to be a link below to schedule a call with myself or a member of the team at Asian Advantage. Please book a call and consume a lot of the content that we have here on this page. There's a lot of successful insurance agents who are growing an agency and changing the world with this model. And I think that uh, Mr. Garcia is going to be one of them at the top. And so I appreciate you, Mr. Garcia, and we'll
Yes, sir.
go on together.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye.
care.